Mario, New York schools tank. They're 26 in the United States. Paying more has never helped. First of all, that fact couldn't be further from the truth. And especially when you talk about upstate New York schools. If you want to talk about inner city schools, it's a completely different deal. They're a completely different dynamic, by the way. But New York schools are in the top 5 in America, and our schools up here perform far better than that. And not even talking about other schools, I'm talking about New Hartford. And that's a school that performs as one of the best schools in New York State and around the country as well. But there's more to this, Manaski. I'm going to tell you. Listen to this topics post.
We have our own private investigator.
New York and New Hartford teachers. Some are overpaid for not doing their job effectively. The good ones should be paid more. The ones that are there because they cannot get rid of them. Okay, whatever. They're talking about Utica teachers. Somebody goes on topics and uses the name Keeler. Keeler was complaining about this on his radio show. His wife is a New Hartford teacher. And then somebody else, a Keeler listener, comes in and says, ask Bill Keeler about this on his show tomorrow morning and see what he says then. Well, now the sign's been taken off my car. Well, you know what I'm saying. Now, I know this is probably very circumstantial.
Right.
But, you know, tell that to Caitlin Connolly. Circumstantial evidence can convict.
It can.
Just saying.
So, wow. Somebody was calling his shot, huh?
Almost as if somebody is saying, I'm going to go steal that sign and then watch him complain about it tomorrow morning.
And
to be honest with you, I don't like signs on my car anyway. I'm all right with it being gone. But, you know, I got to deal with my wife when I go home. You take that sign off? I'm like, absolutely not. Somebody must have stolen that sign, and that's what happened.
I predict we'll find it buried under your floor mat in 6 to 8 months.
That's right. Next to the McDonald's wrapper that I'm not eating. Good morning, man, Episcopo. How was Dubai, by the way?
Oh, my gosh. It was absolutely incredible. And I have to tell you that after being there, I had Bill Keeler's voice ringing in my head, no progress downtown. I swear to God, I laugh and laugh and laugh about that because in Dubai it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
The skyline is littered with cranes building and what their whole philosophy is over there. Just a couple of quick examples, which I thought was interesting, is, for example, when you're in the airport, they don't make announcements over the loudspeaker. They have people dressed in blue aprons all over the place, and if you have a question, you go up to a human being, have a conversation, and they point you out to where you need to go because they consider loudspeaker announcements noise pollution.
Noise pollution.
Noise pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of a...
I'm sure they'd hate this radio show.
I don't know if they'd consider it noise pollution or not, but they're also, their philosophy, which I thought was very interesting, is the police over there are considered the ministers of happiness. And basically the
crime
leader,
is just incredibly low there, right?
It is, because the ruler of Dubai, basically his philosophy is if we can do everything that we can to make the people that visit and or live here happy, then it will cut down on crime. So when you fly into Dubai, the police headquarters is this massive building that's huge, and it has a giant yellow happy face on it.
Wow.
And he said, when people fly in, I want them to see that smiley face, and I want them coming here with a positive attitude. Now, the interesting thing is you do not have rights there. So the police are extremely friendly. They'll bend over backwards to help you. But if you beef them at all, they'll take you out quick.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lawyer, and you don't get to protest, and you don't get to put things up on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, there's a free that lacks there. You do not want to get in trouble. Like those idiots that went over to China, and decided, I'm going to steal crap. I mean, what are you thinking? Yes. A, you're doing it in a foreign country, and B, you're doing it in a communist country.
That's right.
What are you thinking?
And I think people are so used to living here and what they can do, what they can say, what they can get away with, and where the social boundaries are. You forget once you leave that freedom that we have here, the rules are just, even over there, if you were to even just say something against the leader, they take you out quick. You just can't even do it.
Right.
So, and then you take a look at how it goes here, whether you like whoever is in charge of the United States or not. It's very popular for our TV stations to make fun and do satires of them and cartoonists and whatever. And sometimes they deserve it, but in other countries, they just don't tolerate it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even think of the protests, not even the satire, the serious protests.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be no SNL or no criticizing the president.
And there would be no lobbying outside of Trump Towers, right? With signs that say you're a pig or you're this or you're that.
So one thing that I'm going to be posting soon on my website is I actually got an opportunity to meet with the third in command of the Dubai police. And I'm actually going to be consulting with them, which is very exciting for me. I'm going to actually, I'm in a contract negotiation to consult with them. But they were very proud to show me that they have this new police station, and what it is it's completely an unmanned police station. It's hard to imagine this, but basically imagine that you go to a building that's absolutely gorgeous. When you walk in, it's all LED, and it guides you to a kiosk. You touch on it, facial identifies you. If you're not from the country, you hold up your passport, whatever. You can report any crime that you want. You can do lost and found property. Let's say you found someone's cell phone. A bag comes out of the wall with a barcode on it. You put the phone in there, put it in, and it takes it in as evidence. So it's completely hands-free. They have an espresso machine, high-quality chocolates to make you comfortable. They have a virtual reality goggles that you put on, and when you put them on, it has a police officer say, "Come in, welcome, here's where you go," and guides you through VR through the station.
Wow.
And then
There's
you go
just
into
so much money there. It's unbelievable.
It gets better, though. You go into a station, and it's completely soundproof booth, and a big screen comes up. This thing comes up in front of you that's a keyboard, and you talk to an actual police officer, and they said, "Matt, throw a few scenarios at them that you want to report," and in real time, they tell you exactly what to do and how to do it.
Wow.
This entire thing from A to Z was built, conceptualized. I talked to the guy that said, at lunch, we had this idea, and it's in reality 6 months later. So they did that in 6 months.
Wow.
So think about the
none
technology.
Of the red tape, none of the arguing over should we do it, should we not do it.
Exactly. So then when I hear no progress downtown and things, I laugh that they were able to take a virtual reality police station from concept to reality in 6 months, and you can't get a parking garage built.
It is. I mean, you're absolutely right, and you wouldn't know that unless you travel.
Right. When you come back home and you see all the red tape and all the voting that has to go on and all the nonsense and
the fighting and the arguing,
it's just ridiculous.
Vic in Utica, Matt Episcopo's in studio. What's up?
Hi. The New Hartford teachers, do they have a union?
Yes. They're a union.
Why don't they get together then and talk about it? They do need more money.
I'm going to pass that along.
You know,
I will pass that along. Maybe my wife can add that into
the superintendent bill. Did he give himself or herself a raise?
I believe that was the board of education voted for that.
The board.
Yeah.
You know, it's the teachers who make the superintendent look good.
You're right, Vic. You're right. Would you mind? Maybe they ought to hire you, and you could be like the union rep or something, Vic.
I attended Utica schools, but I've always thought highly of New Hartford School.
Well, thank you, Vic. I appreciate it. My wife would say thank you if she was here. All right.
You have a good day, guys.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
I wish it was so simple, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just doesn't seem to go that way. So you do these. So you take the experience, the traveling, the experience in law enforcement, and all the things that you do, and you do. And we've been talking about these, where you offer this service to companies. You've come in here to Town Square and worked with the important department here. They don't care about programming. It's the sales department. You gotta get the sales department up and running, because how else would you pay the bills?
Yeah, how I got to Dubai is I was in Los Angeles doing a seminar, and there was a businessman attending that seminar from Dubai. Loved what I did and said, we have to bring you over to train our company. And so now once I got there.
When can you do that?
Exactly. And so once I got there, then I started networking and again in negotiations to go back, and then I was able to go to Thailand from there, which was a whole different experience.
And now you're consulting the one of the police departments there. That's just incredible.
Yeah. And to me, when I take a look at the technology that they have, what's bizarre to me, because I just don't come from this mindset here, their thinking is we want the best at any cost. So, for example, in Dubai, they have the only 6-star hotel. I think, no, 7-star. They have a 7-star hotel. They have a 6-par golf course. I didn't even know there was
such a thing.
They don't.
They just made it up. We're gonna have a 7-star.
And it's just off the charts ridiculous.
You said a par 6 golf. You were going to say a
par
par
6
6 golf hole?
course.
A course.
Yeah, a course. Well, they have par 6 holes on the golf course.
I need those.
So
in my course.
A couple par 9s would do me good.
Actually, I believe Tiger was hoping for
like
that
when I
this
had
weekend.
a police car, I used to joke that our cars would have like feral cats coming out of them and stuff because they're so old and rusty and stuff.
Yeah.
And over there, they have Lamborghinis, Bugattis. Porsche.
I saw a
I mean, it's
special on
just-
Dubai about the vehicles. I mean, everybody over there basically drives a sports car.
Right. Right.
Yeah, there is no poverty class there. I believe it's
Well,
all.
there is and there isn't. So the interesting thing is you have the extreme wealth, nothing in the middle, and extreme poverty.
Oh, you do. I didn't.
And basically-
so the workers.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's
The average temperature was
Probably not
about
a positive.
115 degrees with about 90% humidity.
wow.
So I had a meeting 3 blocks away from the hotel I was staying at, and I said, well, I'll walk over. They said, no, take a cab. I go, well, how lazy are you over here that you
Yeah.
would take a cab 3 blocks away? But when you open the door, it's literally like opening an oven door. It hits you, and you're instantly soaked. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
running to the cab. Get to that cab quickly where the air
But
conditioning is
the
blowing.
streets are interesting, too, because just traffic patterns, there's very few stoplights. It's almost all traffic circles, but the traffic just keeps moving. And it just little things that you pick up on.
Yeah.
You know, and they've basically made an announcement to the world: if you have things great to offer, pitch us your idea, and if it's a cool idea, we'll pay for it.
Wow.
I mean, so there's a lot of
Meanwhile,
opportunity there.
Nano Center. We've got a Nano Center.
We're fighting over the Nano. We're fighting
Yeah.
over. We're fighting over the hospital. You can't do anything around here without fighting over it. They're fighting over the Stewarts. Should there be a Stewarts
Right.
in Utica?
Right.
No, there shouldn't. We're fighting over the roundabouts. We fight over everything.
Yeah, imagine all that they had to do to get that one roundabout down. Is it called Oneida Square?
Yeah.
Which is funny because a square
Now
it's a
it's a circle.
Yeah, Oneida Circle, you should
Yeah.
call it. But
Yeah.
here nor there, they embrace them over there because it moves traffic. It keeps it moving.
Well, there was one in London. There's, I believe it's in London, somewhere in Great Britain. There is one of the biggest circles, roundabouts in the world.
Yeah.
And traffic is going different directions, but
Right.
it all works. And the
Right.
and the when they look at the rate of accidents or any fender benders or something, it's like it plummeted.
Right.
You'd look at that and say, "This is a mess. This is going
Right.
to cause
It
accidents,"
works.
and it does the opposite.
Right.
It really works. They're adding new out at Griffiths. They're adding new roundabouts. And
You
of course,
have to
over by the
experience it.
John Street, there's going to be one.
And putting one in place is one thing, but when they have a mindset of we're going to have a series of these things to keep traffic flowing, and you're driving around and you're going pretty quickly and you're not stopping for anything, it's pretty impressive. Same thing with their train system. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It almost looks like the monorail at Disneyland. It's impressive. No one drives it. It's all unmanned.
Interesting.
So it's and the Bel Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, is there. It's about a mile tall.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. We're on the 148th floor or some ridiculous thing. They already have plans while we were there, and I actually took photos of it, of a building that they're going to build. It's taller than that already. They're already outdoing themselves.
I have a few just quick questions, and then we'll let you go. Is there any anything Americanized there when it comes
Everything.
to food?
Believe it,
and-
all Burger King, McDonald's,
Okay.
Wendy's, all the fast food places, all the chains and all that. So it very much is, which is surprising to me.
Yeah. And how much? What the cost of things? The cost.
Yeah, they don't
of
have a
everyday-
dollar menu at McDonald's, do they?
Yeah, like
Dubai.
$25 menu.
Again, it depends on where you go because a couple interesting things. So in one mall that we went to, they literally had a downhill snow ski slope with a chairlift. So you could go
I've
skiing
seen
in the
that.
mall.
Yeah.
They have a giant
In the
ice
mall.
rink in the mall.
Oh, I hadn't seen that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's indoors in the mall. And you get on the chairlift, you go
Yeah.
up, and you can go downhill skiing in the mall.
So that's in the mall. I've seen that where there's an indoor ski resort.
Right, it is.
So imagine skiing in a climate like Dubai. It's really quite incredible.
So anything that you want to do, you can do.
Yeah.
And like any other city, it's a lot like New York. I felt like I was in New York City, except modern. Because if you take a look, there was almost nothing in Dubai around 1990.
Right.
So everything there is new.
Including
and
much of the
technology.
land, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's
They started building
so
out
much-
into the ocean.
Yeah.
Like
Crazy.
the palms and all that. So that's the thing is, when Brenda and I were there, we would say, okay, here's what we want for dinner, and you'd find something that's reasonable. So if you wanted to go crazy, you could, you know, they have hotel rooms that are about $20,000 a night, or you can get something that's under $100 a night. So it just depends on what you want and where you go.
One last thing. What was the flight like going over there? Because did you take, was it Air Dubai or what?
Yeah, Emirates Airlines.
Emirates.
Yeah, Emirates.
And they say that is an experience in itself.
It's incredible. It absolutely is. I mean, they serve you full meals. I mean, you don't get snacks and, you know, peanuts or whatever. You get full meals.
6 peanuts in that bag. 6 peanuts in that bag now.
I always feel bad asking the stewardess, can I have like about 4 more of those, please?
So one thing I'll say is in Thailand, it was the exact opposite of Dubai in this sense. In Dubai, it's desert. So it's kind of like New York City and Vegas combined in the middle of nowhere. There's desert, there's nothing else, but there's this gorgeous city and extreme wealth. In Thailand, the countryside is a lush rainforest, jungle, and beautiful, but extreme poverty. So I did some math. If you retired and let's say you only had an income of $35,000 income, in Thailand that would be worth $950,000.
Wow.
So every U.S. dollar at the time I was there was about $32 of their money. So one U.S. dollar would get you $32 worth of stuff. So you can buy a lot.
You would think a lot of that is relative, and I guess it is when it comes to maybe electronics and that sort of thing. But when it comes to everyday things like food and travel and you save, it really is. I was in Venezuela before NAFTA went through, and it was about 30 to 1 there at that time. You could just trips and vacations stuff. You could do anything for almost nothing there.
Right.
So that's like that there.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. So then it's beautiful, and where you stay is gorgeous. But then when you have to go out and about, it's so poor. Yeah. You feel sorry. It's like, you know, it just crushes.
One final thing I want to throw at you, and then we'll let you go. Matt Lauer, what do you think?
What a shame!
Shock, right?
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing: is only because I did what I did for a living in law enforcement and sexual abuse and sexual harassment, all these things, it's unfortunately so prevalent. Yeah. It really is. I mean, I think it's, when you're talking in like college and date rapes and things like that, it's down to low as 1 and 2. I mean, it's that.
That's terrible.
So it's not.
Makes you want to now let your daughter or your son go off to college.
It's a shame.
Think about
it really is. It's gotten to be this way in our society.
He had a button, and speaking of technology, Dubai technology, he had a button in his office that he would hit. It would automatically lock the door. I'm sure it was placed there for security purposes. But he used it to keep the women in and anyone out when he would be doing something inappropriate.
Right.
Alleged, anyway. Yeah. So crazy. All right, Matt. So people should. It's mattepiscopo.com.
Yes.
And also, they could call for a consultation. It's free.
Yes.
877-525-1617.
Right.
Thank you.
You got it. It's always a pleasure to see all of you. Thank you so much.
Next time we'll all go with you to Dubai and we'll broadcast.
Let's do it from there.
From the week.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.